I donated my liver to my mom in the hopes of saving a life. But a week later, she ended up in the ICU and uh, she suffered a stroke that could lead to her unable to move the left side of her body. So during the liver procedure, me and my mom were briefed that yeah, complications are bound to happen and it is part of the surgical process. And I think on reflection, I always thought that I was prepared for pain and I was prepared for death. Um, in fact, death is kind of like a world without suffering and pain, at least in my knowledge, and it was something that we ultimately end up looking forward to in a way. But nothing kind of really prepares you in the journey to reaching death as well. And a big part of it is also learning to deal with pain. The physical part wasn't as bad, but I remember that it was the mental part at 2 a.m. where I couldn't sleep because of the pain that I had felt in my lower abdomen. And I at the moment, even though I knew that people cared about me, I spent a lot of time just being very alone at those nights, thinking whether people were really concerned or were they very prepared to move on with their lives while I was in the hospital recovering as well. And it's kind of a very negative and pessimistic mindset that I had during my recovery, that people would just move on and not care. After this procedure, I was discharged after a week after my operation, but the pain still persists. But immediately after my discharge, my mom, who was still in the hospital at that time, experienced a stroke. And during the recovery process, I had to rush down to the hospital to just check in on her. And I remember on the way there, I wasn't sure whether my mom would make it and whether it would be the last time that I could see her. And when I went to the ICU, I just saw her face crying out to the doctors, and to me, a part of me broke lah. Yeah, we always have the impression that like our parents knew everything, they knew what to do with their lives. But I think looking at my mom in such a state, in so much pain, it really was a very humanizing process, and really broke the illusion that my parents knew everything and they knew what to do. Today my mom is much better, but there's just a huge question mark on the future of our family lah. We're trying to put aside the dejection of what has happened, but knowing that complications can still happen during the surgery, it is normal that recovery takes longer than usual, than what's estimated. But at the same time, there's also a question of what life will be like for our family now that the surgery is done. There is grief in knowing that nothing kind of prepares you for what is to come, where we have seen it firsthand, where complications can happen and there's nothing much we can do when these things arise. But there's also comfort in knowing that nothing I can do kind of prepares me for what is to happen as well. And it just teaches me to take things as they come and take things step by step as well. Thanks for watching.